Dinah Mulholland a dwi yn geisydd a Blaid Lafur Cymru yn isetholiad Llambed am Hydref chwech. Dwi'n dysgu Cymraeg, gwnes i cwrs half myneddiad am mis Awst, ond fi angen ymarfer. Fi angen ymarfer. So I'll be answering the questions in English, but I'm sorry about that, and I will get better.
Firstly, can you point out the three most important priorities of your manifesto?
I would say the three most important priorities are the first one is probably to defend and improve public services. We have literally hardly any bus services left here in Lampeter, and that's a real problem for people who either want to socialise or to work outside of the town. We need to bring back the bus services we had pre-COVID, and actually we need to improve and strengthen our bus services locally anyway. We also have massive issues with social care here, recruiting carers and having people stuck in hospital while they are waiting for assessment from social services. My second priority is actually to support Lampeter during the cost of living crisis and recession. We're facing something that probably the majority of us generationally have never known. You know, we didn't live through the war, most of us. We still have a few of our elderly people here who did live through the war. They understood what that privation was like. But we don't have an understanding of that, and we really need to get real and start working together. I'm also working on a local energy deal for Lampeter. This is a long-term ambition. Hopefully by 2025 we will be in a position to secure a local renewable energy deal for Lampeter so that we will have energy security. That energy will be cheaper for local residents. It will be the generators locally, so local wind turbines, solar, will get a better price for their energy, and that's something I'm working on at the moment with Dinah, because we have to think, what if this happens again? You know, we have to think about securing our future in terms of energy. So that's really, really important as well. Parking, I've heard a great deal about parking on the doorstep over the last few weeks. What I'd like to say about parking is we really do need a specific parking plan that's geared for Lampeter. Too often, decisions made by the council are imposed upon us with no consultation, no reference to what businesses and residents here really need. The final thing is, and this is a more kind of broad, generic thing, is building the local economy. I run Lampeter Market, Market Llambed. I've been running it for several years. We've been building that up into an award-winning local market, selling local food produce, local craft. And what's really important about that market is it's there to support the local economy, it's there to bring on micro producers and small businesses, and we need to echo something of that kind of shape here in Lampeter. We need to be harnessing the wealth of talent, natural resources we have here. This is the most beautiful place to live and beautiful place to visit, and we need to be harnessing our talents, our skills, our experience to again work together. Okay?
You said about a lot about tourism and local services with the buses and etc.
Yeah.
You say then about ensuring a cultural, leisure and tourism growth in Lampeter.
Yes.
How would you take action on this, and how will you complete this?
Again, as I said before, it's actually about harnessing the skills and the talent that we already have here. We've got Victoria Hall over the road. We managed, when I was one of the directors of Victoria Hall, we managed to get the funding from Europe at the time and Welsh Government. We got £160,000, and funding came from Ceredigion Council as well, to improve the internal facilities of the hall so that we could have touring theatre here, we could have community theatre happening here, bands, music, jazz, opera, whatever you wanted to have happen here, we could have here. That still needs further development. The interior of the hall is refurbed, but we need to be looking at how the community can really get in there and access everything in there and create a vision.
So just to clarify,
Lampeter.
bringing
Yes.
more funding into Lampeter.
We can bring more funding into Lampeter. The funding is out there, but we have to work coherently together in order to get that funding. At the moment, there's loads of organisations here all applying for separate little bits of funding streams. We need to be working together to kind of make that into a cohesive thing. In terms of the appearance of the town, for example, that would do a great deal to improve our kind of tourism offer, as you say. So But we can improve the appearance of the town here. Town council are sitting on a huge pile of money. You know, they have over £100,000 in the bank. Wales Audit Office have told them already twice they need to reduce that to the size of the precept, which is £40,000. The reason you have £40,000 in the bank is in case something happened, you've got money for the following year. So there's an awful lot of money available there that we could be looking at. Someone could be employed locally to clean the streets. Someone could be employed locally to weed the pavements. And I've been hearing a lot about this as well. And it does make the town look bad. But the funding is there within town council. That's what I mean. We need to look to our own resources because we have them and we can utilise them.
But isn't that all of a matter for the town council rather than Ceredigion County Council?
It is, but Ceredigion don't have any money. Town council have asked Ceredigion for the money, and Ceredigion have said basically to them, we do not have the money for additional street cleaning. We are putting that money into frontline services as best as we can. So what do we do then? We have to be pragmatic. You know, we can't just say, oh, well, that's a matter for Ceredigion Council rather than the town council. No, the resources are there. We need to use them. They should be employed for the benefit of the town. We also need to do other things, like we have so much going on here. You know, there's so much talent, and we need to be bringing that to the fore. And experienced businesses here in Lampeter that are doing things that nowhere else is doing. You know, we could be doing that as well.
Okay, we'll move on. If you were to have a £1 million grant to be used in Lampeter in any way, how would you spend this and why?
Does it have to be on one thing?
It can be anything within Lampeter.
I'd really like to see provision for young people here. I really would. They're our adults of the future. They're incredibly important to us. If we want to keep them here, we need to invest in them. But we also need other things as well. But £1 million isn't going to fix it. You know, this really is the job of the council. We need better social housing, for example. We need affordable housing. We need a lot more of that to keep young people here. But maybe something like a jobs regeneration scheme and a youth club that were kind of combined, training for young people who had left school, weren't working around here at the moment, that kind of thing. But I think £1 million, although it sounds like a lot, would probably just about build a youth club, employ a youth worker, and bring in some money from elsewhere to ensure that that was a sustainable project.
So do you think Lampeter is a successful town at the moment?
I think it should be a successful town. It's got every ingredient to make it a successful town. I think it has been a successful town. I think at the moment it's feeling a little bit like it's living in the shadow of what it was rather than in the light of what it could be.
So it's not a successful town, that's what you're saying?
I'm not saying it's not a successful town. I think there's a lot of successful things happening here. I think there's a loss of confidence though here. You know, I think we need to try and sort of work together to bring that confidence back. But you only see that confidence from the actual success that you see happening around you. So if you do something and it's realised and it works well, that brings confidence. So really that's what we've got to be doing here.
Okay, thank you very much for your time. Diolch yn fawr. Pob lwc.
Diolch.